Picture this. You're 28 years old, earning a decent salary in Bangalore. Your parents call every week asking the same question, Beta, ghar kab loge? Your colleagues are proudly sharing photos of their new flats. Your landlord just increased rent by 15%. And that real estate agent keeps WhatsApping you about last few units available in some township. Society is screaming at you to buy a house. But here's what nobody is telling you. That decision you're about to make? It could either build your wealth or silently destroy it over the next 20 years. And the difference? It's not 10 or 20 lakhs. We are talking about crores. Yes, crores. Today, I'm going to show you the mathematics that banks desperately hope you never learn. The calculations that real estate agents will never put in their glossy brochures. And the truth that might just save you from the biggest financial mistake of your life. But here's my promise, I'm not going to tell you renting is always better or buying is always wrong. That would be stupid advice. Instead, I'll give you a framework so powerful that by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's right for your situation. So let's destroy some myths and build some wealth. चलिए शुरू करते हैं. Before we dive into complex calculations, let me introduce you to the most powerful number in real estate that 90% of Indians have never heard of. It's called the price-to-rent ratio. Here's how it works. Take the price of a property and divide it by the annual rent of a similar property in the same area. Let's say a 2 BHK flat in Powai, Mumbai costs 1 crore 50 lakhs. The monthly rent for a similar flat? 40,000 rupees. Annual rent becomes 4 lakh 80,000. Price to rent ratio? 1 crore 50 lakhs divided by 4 lakh 80,000 equals 31.25. Now here's the global benchmark. If this ratio is below 15, buying makes financial sense. Between 15 and 20, it's a gray zone. Above 20? Renting is mathematically superior. Look at what we just calculated for Mumbai 31. That's almost double the threshold where buying makes sense. Let me give you more numbers. Bangalore's prime areas? 28 to 35. Gurgaon? 25 to 32. Even tier 2 cities like Pune and Hyderabad are hitting 22 to 28. Compare this to cities like Detroit in the US where this ratio is sometimes below 10, or even Singapore where it hovers around 20. Indian metros are among the most overpriced real estate markets in the world when compared to rental yields. This single number tells you something crucial: Indian property prices have completely disconnected from rental values. And this disconnect is where your wealth either grows or dies. Let's talk about that down payment sitting in your bank account, or worse, in your father's retirement fund. For a 1 crore rupee flat, you need minimum 20% down payment. That's 20 lakhs. Most people also pay 5 to 7 lakhs in registration, stamp duty, GST, and interiors. Let's be conservative and call it 25 lakhs total upfront cost. Now here's the question nobody asks: so what if you invested this 25 lakhs instead? Let's run the numbers with historical Nifty 50 returns of approximately 12% annually. 25 lakhs invested for 20 years at 12% becomes, wait for it, 2 crore 41 lakh rupees. Let that sink in. The money you're locking into walls and cement could grow to nearly 2.5 crores. But wait, people say real estate also appreciates. True. Let's check real estate returns. According to NHB Residex data, average property appreciation in Indian metros over the last 15 years has been approximately 6 to 7% annually. Not the crazy returns your uncle claims he made. So that 1 crore flat after 20 years at 6.5% appreciation becomes approximately 3 crore 50 lakhs. Sounds good until you realize your 25 lakh down payment in equity became 2 crore 40 lakhs while being completely liquid. You could access it anytime for emergencies, opportunities, or life changes. Your property appreciation? Locked. Illiquid. And you still haven't paid off the loan. This opportunity cost is the invisible tax on home ownership that nobody shows you in those EMI calculators. Now let's address the main argument, at least EMI bills an asset, rent is just throwing money away. Really? Let's do the full comparison. That 1 crore flat with 25 lakhs down payment means a 75 lakh loan. At current home loan rates of 8.5% for 20 years, your EMI becomes approximately 65,000 rupees per month. Total amount paid over 20 years? 1 crore 56 lakhs. Add your 25 lakh down payment. Total cost of ownership becomes 1 crore 81 lakhs for a property worth maybe 3 crore 50 lakhs after appreciation. Net gain approximately 1 crore 70 lakhs over 20 years. Now the renter's scenario. Similar flat rent 40,000 per month. The difference between EMI and rent 25,000 rupees goes into a SIP. Let's also assume rent increases 7% annually, which is historically accurate. Your SIP amount adjusts accordingly, always investing the difference between what a buyer pays and what you pay. After 20 years with 12% returns, your investment corpus becomes approximately 2 crore 10 lakhs. Add the 25 lakh down payment you invested separately, which became 2 crore 40 lakhs. Total wealth 4 crore 50 lakhs. Liquid. Accessible. Diversified. The home buyer's net worth from housing approximately 1 crore 70 lakhs in home equity. The renter investor's net worth 4 crore 50 lakhs in investments. Difference almost 2 crore 80 lakhs. And this assumes perfect conditions for the buyer, no job loss, no relocation, no major repairs. The math isn't even close. But wait, we haven't even discussed the hidden costs that home buyers conveniently forget. First, maintenance. Society maintenance in a decent Mumbai or Bangalore complex runs 5 to 8,000 monthly. Over 20 years at 6% inflation? That's approximately 25 to 30 lakhs gone. Second, property tax. Depending on your city and property size, you're looking at 15 to 40,000 annually. 20-year cost? Easily 8 to 12 lakhs with inflation. Third, repairs and renovations. Experts recommend budgeting 1 to 2% of property value annually for maintenance. For a 1 crore property, that's 1 to 2 lakhs per year. Kitchen remodeling after 10 years? 5 to 8 lakhs. Bathroom upgrades, waterproofing, painting, electrical work conservatively another 30 to 40 lakhs over 20 years. Fourth, home insurance. Most people skip this, but if you're smart, you're paying 15 to 20,000 annually. Fifth, the interest tax benefit illusion. Yes, you get deduction under Section 24B up to 2 lakhs on interest. But run the actual numbers, you're paying 8 lakhs in interest to save maybe 60,000 in taxes. You're still losing 7 lakh 40,000. The builder and bank celebrate while showing you tax benefits. Sixth, the biggest hidden cost, inflexibility. That job opportunity in another city? That toxic workplace you can't leave? That relationship that needs a fresh start? All compromised because you're anchored to a property. These hidden costs can add another 50 to 70 lakhs over the ownership period. Add it to our earlier calculation, and the renter advantage becomes even more staggering. Now, before you think I'm completely against buying, let me be clear, there are situations where buying makes absolute sense. First, when price-to-rent ratio is favorable. If you find a property where this ratio is below 20 and you plan to stay long-term, buying starts making mathematical sense. This is rare in metros but possible in certain micromarkets or tier 2 cities. Second, when you've already built wealth. If you have a substantial investment portfolio, maybe 1 to 2 crores already working for you, buying a home doesn't carry the same opportunity cost. Your wealth engine is already running. Third, lifestyle and stability value. Some people genuinely value the psychological ownership, the freedom to modify their space, the stability of never being asked to vacate. This has real value that spreadsheets can't capture. If this peace of mind is worth 50 lakhs to 1 crore over 20 years, factor it into your decision. Fourth, inheritance or windfall situations. If you're receiving property as inheritance or have a large windfall like ESOP liquidation, the opportunity cost calculation changes significantly. Fifth, rent-controlled or subsidized situations. If your employer provides HRA that covers most of your rent, or you have access to below-market rentals, the math can flip. Sixth, genuine long-term certainty. If you're absolutely certain you live in the same city for 20 plus years, have stable income, and found a property in a good location at fair value, buying becomes reasonable. The key word is reasonable, not optimal. Even in best-case scenarios, buying rarely beats disciplined investing mathematically. But life isn't just mathematics. So here's the truth that nobody wants to tell you. In most Indian cities, for most people, in current market conditions, renting and investing is mathematically superior to buying. This isn't opinion. This is arithmetic. But I also know that you'll face immense social pressure. Parents who equate home ownership with success. Society that judges renters as unsuccessful. A culture that sees property as the ultimate safety net. Here's my framework for you. First, calculate your city's price-to-rent ratio for the specific type of property you're considering. If it's above 25, renting is almost certainly better financially. Second, don't buy before you have at least 50 lakhs to 1 crore in liquid investments. Let your wealth engine start before you anchor it to real estate. Third, if you decide to buy, never take a loan for more than 40% of the property value. Yes, this means saving longer. Good. Fourth, never let EMI exceed 30% of your take-home salary. Anything more and you're house rich, life poor. Fifth, remember this mantra: rent where you live, invest where money grows. Your home is a lifestyle choice, not an investment strategy. Treat it accordingly. And finally, whatever you decide, decide with full mathematical awareness. Don't buy because society told you to. Don't rent because some YouTube video told you to. Make the choice that aligns with your numbers, your goals, and your life. Because at the end of the day, financial freedom isn't about owning a house. It's about owning your choices. And that freedom? That's priceless. If this video added value, hit that subscribe button and share it with someone who's confused about this decision. Until next time, stay informed, stay invested, and stay free.